All right, we are back. My man's Jeff. It's Paradox Podcast, episode 8.
Think so. Yeah.
Okay, 8. And mm, man, it feels better that it's nice outside. I feel like when we started this, it was a little chilly, a little cold,
Mhm.
a little windy, and now it's kind of getting warm out. And yeah, I'm happy we've been doing this for long. And how you been though?
Good. Um, really sticking to the boundaries that I've set for myself and then with other people. That's helped a lot. Um, Being direct when I don't want to do something or when I do want to do something, not making excuses. Like I really kept up with a lot of the things that we talked about in previous episodes. Um, and I'm seeing how beneficial it actually is. So
Mhm.
just trying my best to stay focused, not get too happy or too sad, really kind of just stay in the middle. And work. Like the work ethic hasn't changed. Maybe the direction on some things, but overall, like I'm good. I'm good moving forward.
Mhm.
Yeah, how are you?
I'm good. I think I've gotten clarity on things. I think it's nice when you've kind of spent, during Ramadan, I spent a lot of time just like looking at myself, and I was like, okay, how do I like want to pop back out? You know what I mean? After kind of being to myself mainly, and it's nice knowing what you have to work on. You know what I mean? It like you're kind of busy just doing what you got to do, and that you've kind of already pinpointed like what needs to change. And so I feel comfortable, you know what I mean? In the sense of like very firm on what I have to do and what I really need to attack in terms of growth, whether it's personal or even career stuff. And I think again, I feel like the past couple episodes I keep talking about detachment, but how detachment can also lead to a type of growth that you don't really need to be on it all the time. You know what I mean? It's a type of growth that happens while you're away. It's like, and I think I've been trying to let that thrive as much as anything. So I kind of, yeah, I feel good. I'm applying pressure where I need to apply pressure, and then what I don't, I kind of let it go, and it's still gonna do its thing. So I've kind of just been on that type of time, um, going into spring. We're pretty much in the spring era of the year. So yeah,
Good. I think another thing that I kind of picked up was um, ask and you shall receive. That's been a huge
right.
um, guiding light past couple weeks. Uh, yeah, ask and you shall receive. Uh,
Shit, what you
just
been
the like
asking
the
for?
just the basic things. Like it's
Yeah.
certain things I feel like we don't think we can ask for because it's so minimal or it's too grand.
Mm-hmm.
But it literally is as simple as ask and you shall receive. Like don't be afraid to ask. For me, it's basic things. A car, and not just a car, but like a car that I can upkeep.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Financial responsibility. It's things that I wouldn't even have thought to ask for a year ago that I'm now like now that I see things working out in my favor or certain cards getting dealt. It's like just ask, put in the work, but just ask and be patient and trust that the universe has you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's such a crazy notion when you think about there's nothing really beyond your reach. You know what I mean? And I think we've kind of been conditioned to play it safe or to be realistic. And I think I really don't like that term realistic because it kind of assumes, or it just means that you should only ask for the things that you can see. You know what I mean? Or like ask for the things that look predictable or logical, you know? And I think a lot of the times having really faith is almost being like, "Oh yeah, I don't need to see it to know that I want it," or you know what I mean, to know that that's what I want to have a part of my life or my journey or my growth. And sometimes, these things is like we don't see them in other people. You know what I mean? Especially when you ask for things like you don't have, your parents don't have. maybe some of your friends don't have, and asking for it kind of even seems wrong, which is why some people, when they get money, for example, like they feel guilty, like having money because they're just like, oh, well, everyone else is struggling. Why do I have money? You know, because we're in such this, oh, this is like abnormal. Like to get, to have our wishes come true seems like abnormal. I feel like in this day and age. So I think that's why I feel like there's something that Jim Carrey said, like, I wish everyone had $1 million just to see like that it really isn't what people think it is.
Not the
And
answer.
yeah, and I feel that way about like wishes and prayers. Like sometimes I feel like let's just all get what we wish for and see if anybody's really happier. Just like do a test to see like now what do you want? Or like now how are you feeling? Um but I don't know, has there been a situation where you kind of got what you want maybe in your career or personal life and then you're just like, bruh, like this is
Uh, More so in my career than my
yeah.
personal life. What the main thing has just been working with artists that I've been wanting to work with
Mhm.
and seeing one that they're not so different from me, and two, um I value character and attitude and humility more than status.
Mhm.
So it's taught me a lot more about myself than my skills or um, what I used to chase, I guess you could say. And that's probably the key word is chase.
Mhm.
Um, a lot of what we want, the reason we want it, um, just being aware of the reason why we want it, because it's usually not what we think it is when we get it.
Mhm.
um, and trying to like look beyond the veil or like the glitz and glamour and seeing things for what they really are. So yeah, I've experienced it, and it's put a lot of things just in life in general like in perspective for me.
Yeah, it's like a reset. It's crazy when you get the wish and you're living in that dream and you're just like, ah, or you're
Yeah,
still picking at it, you know? And it's almost like you can't really be truly present within that wish. And I think that really says something about there's something in the Quran actually that says like all of your prayers are answered. They're just answered in a way that you don't know. And so sometimes our prayers get answered in like ways that it's almost like we can't see it yet. It's almost like a plant growing. Like you don't see the plant growing because it's in the soil, and then it comes
okay.
to light. And then it comes out of the soil, and then you're like, oh yeah, it's been growing. You know what I mean? But you don't see it, and I feel like that's like a beautiful metaphor for how things accumulate in our like, especially in our careers, where a lot of this
Bro,
is really a slow burn till
yeah,
it's like undeniably growing. You know what I mean? And it's tough. It's tough because you get the thing and you're just like, no, this is not what I wanted. Like this is, you kind of like delude yourself into this should have made me feel better, you know,
yeah,
which is scary, really, because it's like, damn, what am I wanting now that
right,
ultimately really isn't good for me,
yeah,
you know?
yeah. And I think kind of like you said, everything that we want we have, so it's just becoming more aware or taking the time to recognize what's around you and kind of lining it up with what you asked for and really seeing, oh, like, do I already have this? Why am I so pressed to want something? I don't think
Yeah,
we're supposed to want anything.
yeah,
And I think, that's something to note. If I really want something, stop, kind of reflect. Why do you want it? Why do you desire this so bad?
hmm,
Because we truly do have everything.
yeah,
Um, a lot of cool stuff is happening now, especially around the studio, um, that stems from work that we did 2 years ago.
yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah. That's so
At
funny to
that,
me.
hmm
Yeah,
and at that point, we might have looked at the work kind of funny, like, why are we doing this? this isn't what I asked for.
Right.
I thought it would look like this. Never a lack of work ethic, like we weren't about to work or put in the necessary hours, but it was just like, bruh, I thought it would look different. To
Right.
now we can see in hindsight, oh, that's what that was for.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and every time that happens, we get a little bit more patient, a little bit more humble. And it's kind of the thing between us. It's like, I don't want to hear no excuses. I don't want to hear any complaining. Just work. Just work. Because we see it. We see it now, where before it was intangible. Now we see it. So shut up. Shut up
Right.
and work.
You know how
You know?
this goes. I feel like we don't,
Exactly.
you know what I mean? We don't really put a lot of importance on that. Where we do something good and you see it working, you're just kind of like, the glass is always half empty. You know what I mean? To a lot of us. Because even to me, bro, there's like it's crazy when you still see songs getting traction like that are 1 year, 2 years old, 3 years old, and like that's like what's giving you, whatever attention or people finding out about you through something you did prior, and you kind of, I don't know, you have like your own recency bias. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, what have I done lately to to help myself now? You know what I mean? It's very short. We have like a very short term, like I think mindset with like growth sometimes. And then it's kind of like, nah, it's like, oh no, it's something you did or somebody you met 3, 4 years ago. That's why you're eating now, or like something you did all that time ago. And I remember hearing like everything I'm doing now is for the me 6 months in the future. Like I remember hearing that, and I was like, huh. So it's like the only reason I have anything now, whatever going for me, whatever, it's something I did a year ago, a year and a half ago. So it's crazy, bro, because we have such a burnt out like attention span, and like we have like a scope of appreciation that's so limited. You know what I mean? It's like we
Yeah.
forget. We forget the
I mean,
work that we do mostly.
exactly. I
Yeah.
think Zach will always say it's what that's why it's important to write it down so you can reflect
Yeah.
on it later. But I think it's hard to see what's in the works when you're missing meals or
Mm,
you know people haven't called you back or you're not getting the job or whatever it may be. It's hard to see things kind of turning and working in your favor. That's why I think it's important now that we do see certain pieces coming together that we remain humble. Like humility isn't just for overall health. It's how you move forward.
mm,
The more you get, the less your ego needs to be for you to keep going.
mm,
Um, and I love that. I love that I can experience that philosophy now. Whereas before, I may have read about it, but I didn't understand it because I wasn't actually going through it. I was still at my lowest of lows, which is funny because now, you know, you've always been lower than you are, and I think that's important to know too.
mm. You've always
Um,
been lower than you are.
y-
Like
yeah, does that make sense?
I think it kind of does.
Trying to see if that makes sense in my head. You are you. It's not even. There's always somebody doing worse than you, but it's you
Like you've always
yourself.
had a low, like there'll always be like a lower moment, like for you.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, I think so. And even sometimes, like maybe not physically, but mentally, there's
right,
something that you know now that you didn't know before.
right, okay.
Yeah. So it's in terms of how you look at it. Yeah.
Mm. I think it's funny. I was really gonna say like what's really changed, and I think sometimes, bro, it's not even that anything changed. It's just that you changed. You know what
Hmm.
I mean? It's like sometimes you could be in the same exact situation, but you have such a renewed lens of how you look at yourself and the environment around you, where something feels different. But it really, it's like it's you, you know. And I
Yeah.
think that is, a lot of times the most important answers are the internal ones. You know what I mean? And so it's funny how we talk about wanting, and like I always hear like desire is a contract. You know what I mean? Like so pretty much you can want, but it's almost like you're putting your happiness at like a chokehold. It's like, oh yeah, I
Yeah,
can once the contract is fulfilled, I will obtain the thing, happiness,
exactly.
joy, whatever it may be. Whereas it's when we almost like disregard wanting, you know what I mean, and more just like observing what we have that
Exactly.
ultimately changes us. Like that's why I do feel like you know what they say like after you're 25, like that prefrontal cortex and kind of like being real with yourself and stuff, and like
Yeah.
being like, damn, what shit? I'm still at my parents' crib. I'm still
Mhm.
kind of there isn't a big change from let's say like 23 to 26, but me, and it changed everything, like everything going forward. And it's funny how even people who are in quote unquote like farther in their journey, it's interesting to hear people talk and be like, I wonder what they think of what they're doing. Because a lot of times you'd be surprised how people talk. Because like I even hear like there are even billionaires out here who are like beggars in their mind, you know.
Yeah.
So it makes us think like, how are we? What is our mental infrastructure? What mental system do we have in place to actually get I was gonna say get what we want, but that's more of the desire stuff. But like you know what I mean? Like how are we thinking about what we do to be successful? Because we have goals. Come on now. Like we got shit we want to do. As we can be all zen and not wanting, but I think there's a point where like we gotta like you said, work and like don't look at the scoreboard.
Don't look at the scoreboard. It's okay to have goals. It's just why are they set? Is it for vanity? Is it
Mm-hmm.
for anything outside of yourself? If that's why, you can get it. You're gonna get it. All it takes is work. But when you get it, how are you gonna feel? And that's what I care about now.
Mm-hmm.
Like even the social media thing. I'm doing these references now and whatever. And I caught myself just going back every 5 minutes looking at the numbers. It's like, bruh, stop.
Yeah. What are we doing this for?
What are we doing this for? I posted this because I thought it was a cool shot.
Mm-hmm.
That's why. And other people like it, cool, but I'm posting it for me. I did the song and I posted the song for me because I like it. And it's a daily reminder. You have to remind yourself that because our job, we have to be on social media. So we just by default, we're seeing other people's lives and other people's progress and chapter, whatever chapter they're on. Um, so we just got to kind of constantly be monitoring what we're feeding ourselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah, like all the goals I have, bro, I know I'm gonna get them because
Yeah.
I asked for it and I work for it.
Mm-hmm.
So chill. I'm gonna win a Grammy. I'm gonna win a lot of other awards. I'm gonna meet a lot of other cool people. It doesn't mean anything if I'm not happy.
Yeah.
And I should be happy now. I am happy now.
Yeah. That work starts now. You know what I mean? I think that's the important part of that. Of what you're saying is that if you don't have internal peace, there's no goddamn way that award will. You know what I mean? So I think a lot of times people kind of look for the material things as like, oh yeah, this is gonna unlock peace, or like there's blessings in this, when really there isn't. It's hollow. You know what I mean? The only reason we want Grammys and whatever awards is because we've seen people we look up to win them, and we have an industry in which that is the highest honor. You know what I mean? Toward to to artists and stuff, and so it's kind of like yeah, in my journey, I should pick up a couple, and whatever that may be. Whereas you can do both, really. I remember Denzel was talking about like the Oscars, and he was just like, the two times I really wanted to win, I didn't win. And then because he won it, I think 5 times or something. And he was like, the other times, he was like, it is what it is. He was like, very like, yeah, like I'm up against some really good people. Like, it is what it is.
Yeah.
And it came to him. So I think in a weird way, I feel like when he was happy and at peace with himself, he earned it through that. Whereas the
Exactly.
neediness, the desire, you know what I mean? Like, nah, you know what I mean? I killed it. I deserve it. It's almost like you kind of like, because he's a good person. You know what I mean? But I think it's like the mentality. It's like how he treated it with himself. You know what I mean? So it's like what you said about the posting. It's like, yo, I didn't post this for a million likes. You know what I mean? I posted this because I like it, and I know that somebody in my tribe, my artistic tribe, people who fuck with me, might like it too. And hey, they might hop on it. You know what I mean? Like it's for me and it's for us.
Exactly. And like
Yeah.
even the Grammy, I don't really want a Grammy. I want my
Yeah.
mom to know that I'm not on bullshit. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah.
I couldn't care less about the award. I
Hmm.
do enjoy being in a room filled with people who put the art first and make great art and allow me to listen to great art and experience great art. I care
Hmm.
about that, but what is the Grammy? Is it like gold? It's real gold or something?
I think it is.
Okay, cool. I don't give a fuck.
You can sell that shit. Yeah.
Like you know what I'm saying? Like
Right. Right.
it's a nice reminder that stay committed to something long enough and I don't know.
It's a
I don't even know what
fleeting
it means.
moment. It's really a fleeting
Yeah.
moment when you think about it. If anything, it's just for the resume. I'm starting to really think that it's more
Yeah.
symbolic than anything. I don't think anybody really cares that much, but it's almost like it's like in those video games you like grab a trophy. Like these little memorabilia things. It's like, oh yeah, you're in a quest. Yeah, pick up the trophies. They're part of your journey. It just means that
Exactly.
you're farther along. You know what I mean?
Milestones. Yeah.
And I literally posted something on the SCENIA Instagram last night when I was up. I found like a Lionel Richie interview, and he was saying like a lot of the journey is peaks and valleys. And so essentially, you work all this time in your life, and you get to a mountaintop. But after you get to that mountaintop, you have to go all the way back down to the valley. And then when you're back at the valley, people are like, shit, you might as well go to the top again. Like, let's do it again. You know what I mean? And then so people go from the valley back up to the mountaintop. But he was saying like this journey is not mountaintop to mountaintop to mountaintop, which what I think that's what we think once we kill it. You know what I mean? Like once you have like a really good run, really good moment with maybe a track or a campaign, it's kind of like, all right, bet, let's be 2 for 2. Like, bro, 2 for 2 is not, it happens, but the
Yeah.
reality of the situation is maybe after that run, back to being in silence or, mellowing out a bit, and then you come back up. And I think sometimes what's interesting, what I've realized is that in the arts, having the first mountaintop is really important. Like just
Mm.
hitting that first one. It's like what Virgil says. I literally always think about it. Like you just need one piece from your collection to do well. One. Because then after that one really goes off, your whole catalog changes. Like everything you do changes. And to me, that's like that one peak, that first mountaintop. And so I think for a lot of us, we could think of somebody like Tommy Richmond. That $1 million baby is like a mountaintop of mountaintops. You know what I mean? And then I'm not gonna say he went back down, but like, bro, that was such a moment where he's gonna be like, all right, let me build up to the next thing, build up to the next thing, build up to the next thing.
Yeah.
But because of that, his plateau is different, way different. And I feel like we should, like what you're saying about the posting, is like we should just have a long term mindset, like vision about what we're doing. Like, yo, I'm trying to hit that peak. I'm trying to hit my peak. I'm not trying to hit your peak. I'm not trying to hit bruh, Omarion. That was random. And I'm not trying to hit his peak, nigga. I'm trying to hit my peak. You know?
Oh, Mario caught a stray.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. I mean, such a simple concept, but so like the path to get there is so treacherous.
Mm.
I don't think even somebody watching this are like, okay, don't think about the numbers, don't think about the peak, don't think about the awards. You're human. You're gonna still think about that until you get to a point where you just don't care anymore, or
Right.
you're aware of the real value. I value freedom now. Doing what I want with who I want, where I want, when I want. That is my Grammy. That is the highest form, not of validation, but that's what I'm chasing. And even that sounds wrong now. So
Yeah. The chase.
anything
Just the chase
exactly.
word is not. It's so hard to think of another word. I'm trying to shift towards attract than
Yeah.
chase. You know what I mean? But it feels like a chase because sometimes it's funny. A chase would mean that it's running away from you, and I think that's the bit of the scarcity mindset. I think that we all start with. We hold dear that the thing you're trying to catch is like it's like soap. Like when you're using bar soap and it just slips out of your hands, you're just like, ah, okay. But I don't think it's like that. You know what I mean? I think that's where the trust comes in. It's like attracting is a better word because it's like it's never really running away from you. If anything, it wants to be connected to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
Like
I
it
do
just
think
wants to be with you. Yeah.
exactly. I think it's a I think we need contradictions just in life in general
Yeah.
because I do think that piece of me that still chases, even though I'm aware that that's not what I should be doing, that means I care. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah. It's good. It's well intentioned. It's not like a chase from lack. It's more or less a chase from like passion. You know what I mean?
Yes,
It's
exact.
like
I
the
know exactly.
person that's in the gym like working really hard after a win. You know
Right.
what I mean? It's not because he doesn't trust his success. You know what I mean? It doesn't She doesn't like not trust his skill. I think it's more of a
This is what got me here.
right, right, right. It's staying
You know?
true. You know what I mean? Because I feel like if you're that person, that's what you do anyway.
Exactly.
You know, that's how you treat your passion. Like that's your routine of being in this. Like for both of us, like we create all the time, regardless of we release or not. You know what I mean? That's because we've made a contract with ourselves. Like, but that contract is like we don't need anything back. That's the beauty of like the love part. It's like I don't need the music to tell me good job, or like whatever. I want to just give to it. And I think that's hey, maybe if we applied that to more aspects of our life, we would be better off. And I think that's maybe a lot of what we're talking about. The more of like, who is it for? You know what I mean? Who is it really for?
With that,
Sheesh.
that was a good question. It's a good question, and something we'll never stop asking.
It's a never
No.
ending hamster wheel of
Yeah.
who's it for? Who's it for? And because
I'm
it never
asking that.
ends. It like
Nah, nah.
because art never ends really.
Exactly. Exactly. So yeah, I agree. Who is it for? Continue to ask yourself that and be react quickly if the answer isn't what it should be.
Hmm.
Yeah, the answer should be for you.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So would you think what do you so like for the people who don't know who they're doing it for, do you think it's like they're lost causes or
Oh, you have to. At one point, I was doing it for the Rolls Royce, for the 13 bedroom house,
yeah.
for other people's validation. You need to go through that. You need to be at you. What you say? Um, you need to at least think of the top when you're at the bottom for you to realize what the real value is halfway there. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? So I think
Yeah.
that's a part of our journey. Like you need to think that way to realize that that's not how you should be thinking.
Right.
Again, contradiction. Like yeah.
Yeah. No, like you said, I feel like last episode you were talking about like doing things for vanity at first. You know what I mean? Because you don't know any other way to act. It's like, oh, I want to prove. We all seek the validation, and sometimes maybe that involves you doing good things, like you working harder, you eating healthy, whatever it may be. But but it's funny how it kind of comes from a not savory place. And then maybe the
I
longer you
mean,
do it,
yeah.
you're
I
like,
mean, originally it does come from a pure place. You're seeing people, you're seeing people do what you want to do for a living. And yes, they're in a nice car, they might have a, a bust down watch, etc. But that's not really what you're paying attention to as a kid. You're
mm-hmm,
just they're doing what I want to do all day.
right.
And then you kind of get a little distorted on what the real value is or the image of success is. And then you revert back to, nah, I'm in it for this, the right reason. And it's
Mm-hmm.
literally just a constant battle of that. You just get a little bit more mature in the battle, but that never stops either.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. And I think at this point, it's just about learning. I feel like if you're not constantly checking yourself, the who is it for question changes. Because at the
yeah,
beginning, it's probably for whatever family, friends, people you went to high school with. And then updates to maybe people in your scene, people like, oh, yeah, these are the people that are up. I want them to see me and say I'm good. And then, man, I think at a certain point, it kind of gets to your own peace, you know? Or,
that's when everything starts to
mhm,
everything you've been asking for and wanting. That's when it starts to just fall in your lap when you don't even want it.
yeah. Or the result doesn't matter.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah. And so I think that's a enlightened place to be. And I think we all kind of get to that differently. There are people maybe who've put the same amount of time as us, but maybe are still at the phase of doing it for their friends. Or they're at the phase of, trying to impress their colleagues and stuff. So yeah, I don't know. I guess to each their own, but man, like I think like I said earlier, I think all the answers come with boredom and silence in your life. You're like, "Oh wait, what am I actually doing?" So, yeah, I don't know. So, what are you feeling about like an ending quote? What would you if you were to wrap up this episode in a couple words?
Stop chasing
Mm,
because chances are you already have what you want,
yeah,
whether you want to acknowledge it or not.
right. Yeah. That is it's not even worth adding on to that. Not even worth it. All right,
Like
y'all.
that.
That's a wrap.
Until next week.